What's up, RVP Nation? I'm Sawyer, and I'm here with our newest member.
Zuriel, what's up?
And we are going to be doing an interview with...
Hi, I'm Emma from the Racine County Eye. I am a journalist. I have been for the past 3 years with the Racine County Eye.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. So I personally have some questions about journalism, because I just think it's such a big job. There's so much to write about. There's so much. So what kind of got you interested in it? What's your kind of work day? Could you explain a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am the product of RUSD. I went through RUSD from kindergarten all the way. I graduated from Park High School. And then after high school, I went to Gateway. And I got my degree in professional communications. And shortly after, the pandemic hit. And from there, I earned my degree. And I wasn't sure which steps I was going to take next. But luckily, I had an internship with the Racine County Eye, which was a requirement of the degree. And I loved it. I was able to kind of immerse myself in the community, spotlight different community events, things that were happening. I get to know people, and I really fell in love with it. So Denise Lockwood, the owner, she ended up hiring me on, and I've been there ever since. One thing that led me to this field is actually my disability. And I know you're probably looking at me and thinking, what do you mean? She looks normal on the outside, or able-bodied, I should say. But I have a slew of rare diseases that actually led me to go to Gateway and to get a degree in professional communications because of its flexibility. Writing your own schedule, setting up your own interviews and such was really important to me to kind of meet the demands of my unpredictable body, I guess you could say. So, the flexibility really encouraged, me to kind of pursue it. I know you kind of weren't expecting that. But
yeah, well, that's awesome. I'm glad that you found something that you can be comfortable in and that you can thrive in.
Absolutely.
So did you always want to be a journalist?
I actually did not. And I think it's because when you're younger, it's not one of those careers that, you see at the career fair. You see the firefighter, the teacher, the policeman,
Most
those.
Definitely.
You don't,
astronaut, so NBA player.
Yeah, you got that right. It wasn't one of those things that I really knew much about. But I knew that because of my disability, that I loved storytelling. And that's how I found through my personal, journey that I was able to communicate with people what was happening to me. So in a different light, in journalism, you're telling people stories, and you're getting to be that voice. We talked earlier, you get to be that voice for people they don't have. So I found that in my own personal life, and then it dawned on me and my family that this would be a good outlet, because that's what you get to do. You get to tell people stories. You're the messenger, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, yeah. I'm glad that it fits so well and that it worked out so perfectly
awesome.
For you.
So, to anyone out there, it's a field you can explore in so many different avenues. There are so many different ways that you can be involved in the media and, artistic outlets. And
Most
such.
Definitely. Yeah. So I have another question about today, how you were doing interviews and stuff. What is your plan of interviewing? Do you do any background information, or when you're writing a story, how deep do you go into these stories? What is your process?
So it depends on the story that you're writing. Whether it's breaking news, if it's a family event, kind of depends. Today, interviewing you guys, I needed to learn about who you were. I did research beforehand to kind of get an idea of what you do and what you are. I think what often separates myself from other people when conducting an interview is I want you to tell me your story. So I I'm going to ask questions, but I want you to navigate. You know your story best, so you know what to tell me. So I find, the most important thing when doing an interview isn't just to ask questions, but to actually listen.
Most definitely. I think you did that very well. That's why I wanted to ask you the question, because earlier I was thinking about that, because it was like, I don't know, I'm new to doing this interview stuff and everything. Like we're interviewing now, and it's kind of like weird, It's like you got questions and everything, and you kind of like want to get what you want to say out, and it's like you're so nervous and stuff, so it's hard to listen. Yeah, I think you've like mastered that.
Oh, thank you. Just everyone wants to be heard, so when you show people and you're vulnerable with them, and you make it a point to listen to them, they want to tell you, who they are and what they're about. If someone comes in a room and tries to tell you what your story is, how open do you want to be about what you're doing then? So the biggest points are, let the people take this, tell you what they want to tell you. Yes. You're there to be the messenger and to listen. They're the ones there to tell you their story.
Okay. And then you said you didn't work for Journal Times. You said you worked for Racine Eye.
Yes. I work for the Racine County Eye, which we can be found at racinecountyeye.com. We're on all the social media platforms as well. And we are a local news website, all online, so we don't have a physical paper, but we've really mastered the digital age that's kind of taking off. So we really pride ourselves on journalism that serves, and that's our tagline. So really providing, not just the story, but solutions to people. Because when you tell someone the news, maybe we're dealing with a mental health crisis, right? So we can tell them all about what's going wrong, but what good does that do?
Yeah, what can we do
if
to
we don't
help?
provide them with, okay, if you're experiencing a crisis, this is where you call NAMI. This is where you reach out. This is where you get housing assistance. So we really, really pride ourselves on being a resource and being one that you can access easily, because as we all know, when you're in a time of trouble, it's hard to reach out. It's hard to look for those things. If you're at rock bottom, even if you're not, you're just unsure of something, you want it to be as easy as possible to find information. So we really pride ourselves in putting out correct, accurate resources, solutions for people.
That's awesome that you guys are like a backbone to the community.
Thank you.
That's very cool.
Thank you.
And you said earlier that they were like based in Racine.
Yes. Yeah. So we're a mighty team of just probably under 10 people, but we are all in the community and definitely for the community. I live here just a couple blocks away from Case High School. Like, this is our neighborhood. So not only are we writing about the things happening here, but this is news that we report on that we care about, because it's our home. It's our neighbors. You're my fellow community member. So I think that just, deepens what we're doing.
Right. What you guys talk about is for you, you're connected to the stories you guys write about.
That's right. It's really personal. It's, when there is a tragedy or if there's a success in the community, we feel those heartaches and we feel those victories with our neighbors, because we are here in the community.
Do you have any plans on furthering your career? Any giant goals you want to make?
If I can tell the story of one person and they're happy with it and it helps them and it does something for that person, I feel like I've succeeded, and that's what I have to do every day. Because of my disability, I have a lot of flexibility in what I can do in my life, even though I am restricted. It goes both ways. There's plans of maybe someday I would further my education and I would, go on and earn a bachelor's degree. But right now I have my associates and I'm secure with that. And I have a great place of work. I love what I do here. I finally found my footing on how it works. You know, it's been a few years, 3 years now. But with the pandemic, I've adjusted to a lot of different things just getting going. So, right now you don't always have to have a plan. You can kind of see where things take you, and then you'll find your plan. So right now I love what I do. So
that's pretty.
That's
good
what I'm doing.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So just to kind of go on like more of like a personal note or anything, it's summertime. Like, do you have any like summer plans or anything? Any like exciting trips?
Or any trips to the Dells? That's usually what goes down.
Fun.
Right.
I love the Dells. You're not wrong there. I am actually an avid, I would say, weekend van life girl.
Oh, okay.
All right. Like traveling around, like road trips and stuff?
Yes.
Do you have like a whole setup? Like
I don't want to call it my own. My boyfriend does. He converted a van that has a bed, a kitchen.
That's so sick. I see all those like videos on YouTube of them
right,
converting it and everything. It looks so sick.
There are, I guess, ours is very lived in. How a house will look perfect online or in a magazine. We are very lived in and very real. So my boyfriend, I have a dog, and we will go on weekend trips to state parks, which are really fun, or, day trips, just going down to the beach, or, we earlier this year went out west. So definitely lots of different trips. Getting outside is really fun. And the Dells, of course.
Right.
That is a must.
That's awesome. That's great to hear.
What's the furthest you've gone in your van though? Like, what's the furthest you've gone? The
furthest we've gone, in May, we went to, we did the Mighty 5, which is a tour of 5 national parks in Utah.
I think I've heard of that.
So that is probably the furthest we went, and it was about a 10-day trip.
Golly.
It was a lot of driving. We put on like 5,000 miles just driving around Utah. So
that's actually amazing though.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
I think that's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for
you
interviewing.
guys.
I really appreciate you coming on. Yep.
Appreciate it.
Peace out, RVP Nation.